Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Dustin Fox, Jason Lloyd, Tyvis Powell, plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Well, we're sorry we're 10 minutes late. There was a company-wide internet shortage in the entire WKYC building, which meant we could not be live at our normal 11 a.m. time. We have figured out some sort of, at least for the time being, fix where we brought down a Wi-Fi hotspot and we are streaming over a Wi-Fi hotspot. So if the stream's a little glitchy or whatnot, just bear with us today. We are dealing with some technical difficulties. Mikey McNuggets, Jason Lloyd, Dustin Fox in the building as Browns-Eagles joint practice has gotten underway. We're going to start the show in about 2 minutes so we give the guys in the back a chance to reload the entire show. So, Jason, Dustin, how you guys doing this morning?
We're doing great, man. Doing great.
Yeah. Chilling. Talking about Morgan Wallen.
We're just talking about Morgan Wallen, man.
You know what? Let's have that conversation, right? We might as well do it.
Well, the conversation was who's going to walk out with Morgan Wallen this weekend. 2 shows at Cleveland Browns Stadium down the banks.
You're going Friday.
I'm going Friday. You're
going
Saturday. Are you going? You're not going?
I'm not going.
You're
no.
not going. If you know who Morgan Wallen is, he's a famous country singer. He always does these walkouts with celebrities from the city where he's doing the show.
Yeah.
He's walked out with Tom Brady,
Mahomes,
Patrick Mahomes. He's walked out with Hulk
Kelce,
Hogan last year.
Yeah,
Kelce
was there, and when he
Kelce brothers, I think at one point did something. I mean, he's had so many.
It's become a big thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. Like, who are you going to see walk out with Morgan Wallen that night? And
so we're like, who's going to walk out with him in Cleveland? Because we're a little thin. We're a little thin with the celebs, man.
Do we go back to the Drew Carey, Bernie Kosar well?
I just feel like that is a little bit early 2000s.
Yeah.
I mean, I said to you guys, LeBron James would
Joe Thomas was my first
Joe Thomas,
thought,
okay, make some sense.
But they're not here Friday night because
Right.
they'll be in Philly.
Right.
And then he'll have to fly back, which I'm not sure what time the concert starts. I'm sure between.
Concerts, dude, 5 o'clock Friday. I mean, doors open. So, I will be there because I'm really pumped. Gavin Adcock is now opening, and he's one of my favorite country singers who's up and coming. And just signed with Morgan Wallen's record label yesterday.
Oh, nice.
So, he played football at Georgia Southern. I called one of his games.
That's pretty cool. Now he's a country star.
He got hurt during COVID, and he decided to get kicked off the team for shotgunning a beer on top of a school bus.
Yeah, you'll have that.
That's my kind of country singer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He'll be in my club one of these days. he's on the way. But looking forward to that. So it's early. I mean, it's an all-day thing. I went to the one at the Horseshoe a couple years ago, and it was. I mean, it began like 4:30.
Doors are 4:30. Doors open 6 o'clock. I think is when it's supposed to roll.
Okay.
Friday and Saturday night. But yeah, it'd be my 2 sons are.
But
huge.
dude, if LeBron walked out with Morgan Wallen, would that just
it'd
be amazing?
It would start every rumor mill in the history of humanity.
That's what I'm saying.
I may have to leave and right.
Yeah.
If he walks out with. I mean,
I'm
not. Let's be serious.
Well, you would have to. You will not. But you should, from a employee standpoint. But all right, stuff in the back's all loaded, Ant?
Yeah, we are good to go.
Yes.
I do not have any socials today or super control, but we'll make it work.
We'll make it work. So let's get a read in and let's jump into our first topic here.
Yeah, guys, today's episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football is back. Fire up the group chat and get your draft board ready and buckle up for a season filled with breakouts, busts, and all the overreactions that we live for. It's all going down on Yahoo Fantasy. This year, UCSS are playing on Yahoo Fantasy, and you should too, whether you're a first-timer or a veteran making your millionth league. I've used Yahoo Fantasy for years, and I love how smooth the draft day experience is. Also, its user interface, second to none. Absolutely love Yahoo. And to celebrate 28 years of fantasy greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days, giving you more ways to play, more ways to draft, and more ways to win. It all begins on August 4th. So stay tuned and get started by creating or joining a Yahoo Fantasy Football League at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. That's yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. And let's make this fantasy season the best one yet.
So the Browns and Eagles have opened up joint practice this morning. We are trying to follow what's going on via practice through live tweets from multiple different reporters. And as we were talking about in the short intermission before we started, it's really hard to piece together the timeline from individual tweets. So we're not going to dive too deep into the quarterback rep distribution until we know how it's all ended and finalized. But I do want to ask real quick before we dive into the other stuff from joint practice we did hear this morning.
I'm dying over here. Continue.
Dustin, I'll ask you first. I'll ask you this first. According to Mary Kay, the Browns went through their first 7-on-7 period and their first 11-on-11 period. During that, Shedeur didn't get any reps. Tyler Huntley took a rep during that. And then she tweeted
a rep?
A rep.
Okay.
And then in the second team 11-on-11 red zone period, Shedeur did not get a rep in that session either, according to Mary Kay. We'll dive into the whys and more, but just as someone who's been in these joint situations, can you think of any reason as to why maybe Shedeur, coming off his performance against Carolina, would not get any reps whatsoever?
I mean, it's certainly a little surprising, but I mean, I would assume there's some sort of reason behind why these coaches do these things and divvy up the reps in practice. Obviously, it doesn't make a lot of sense to us because we're all watching Shedeur play well, and we're thinking, man, this guy has now earned more opportunities to get reps in practice, especially with these joint practices, which means so much because you're playing against legit competition. It's probably the closest thing you're going to find to a live type of environment, especially for the starters, like good on good, like ones against ones, twos against twos. Like it's going to be really competitive as opposed to the exhibition games, which you end up putting guys out there that are playing against players at different levels of the depth chart. I mean, you could have your twos going against threes, you could have your threes going against twos, you could have your ones going against twos. This is good on good here in Philadelphia. So a little surprised by that. I guess I'll defer to Kevin Stefanski on this one. We'll probably hear from him, I assume, after practice, and maybe he dances around it. I don't know, but the Huntley taking one rep could have just meant like hey, somebody's helmet chin strap got broken and he was the first guy that could jump in. You know what I mean? That could be one thing like that.
Jason, any real quick thoughts on that? We'll dive more into it tomorrow when we have more information. I don't want to make a big deal out of something that we just have nothing to go off of yet, but your instant reaction, I guess, to that.
Yeah, I want to wait and see. I agree with Dustin. I think Shedeur's earned the opportunity. He's checked every box, right? He's every task that they've put in front of him, he's done a nice job of handling it, and I think he's earned the opportunity for more reps and for a larger role. And I think the way you're going to see them handle these joint practices is sort of the way they did the one at Carolina last week, where the starters go get the bulk of the reps at the practices, and then the backups play in the game. And so I think you'll probably see a lot of Joe today and tomorrow. Dylan is still above Shedeur. You can say whatever you want about how you feel about that, but he is. That's, according to the Browns, that's the reality of where they're at. So you're going to see a lot of Dylan. You're going to see a lot of Joe. And I'll be curious to see how they divvy up the reps in the game over the weekend. I would imagine we're going to get a heavy dose of Dylan in that as well, a heavy dose of Shedeur in that as well. Assume we will not see Joe in that. And then, I would imagine we'll have an announcement on Joe as the starting quarterback here. It wasn't much of a competition because of Pickett's hamstring. So at this point, I think Flacco's probably pretty clearly in the lead to be the starting quarterback on week one.
What's the obsession with the reps for Shedeur from the fans?
I think it's people want to see him get a shot that they don't feel he has actually gotten yet, especially coming off his performance
they
against
don't know what the
Carolina.
hell they're talking about because the coaches know what they're doing. And the coaches are the ones that are in these meetings. They're reading the tea leaves on what this guy can show them in terms of his ability to retain the information they're trying to install. And then taking to the practice field. They have walkthroughs that they go through. We don't ever get to really see a ton of those things. And if you make mistakes in those that affects your reps. Like they're going to do whatever it takes to try and get these guys ready to go and figure out if Shedeur can be a legitimate player for this team. I just don't think that there's any chance in hell he's going to be the starting quarterback week one. And they're playing their little game internally with what. And I hate to give them so much credit, but they're NFL coaches. Like they're good football coaches, and they know how to evaluate talent. And for us to be like, man, this is bullshit. This guy only got 2 reps in 7-on-7. Like, relax.
It's funny because I agree with you. It's a weird spot because the Browns have not earned the benefit of the doubt on anything.
Agreed.
But at the same time, like, I know Kevin and I know Andrew, and they're really smart dudes.
100%.
and we see just a fraction, the practice reps. We see all of the practice reps and this, but it's still for the amount of time that they are in the building and the amount of meetings that they're in, and then what we see is still just a small fraction of what goes on in the day. So we have to draw pretty broad conclusions based off a very small amount of data. The only thing I'll say is what I said earlier. Like, Shedeur has answered every test that they've put in front of him. And he got to go against the starters for the Panthers the first couple of series. Didn't have a ton of success. Then when the backups came in, he rolled. Now, is that because it was lesser competition, or is that because he just sort of got a little bit more comfortable in himself? Regardless who was out there, some of the throws he made in that Panthers game were NFL throws.
Excellent, yeah.
They were great throws. That's what I'm saying. I think he has earned more. He's earned the opportunity for more responsibilities, and I think they'll give it to him in time. This is part of the problem of having 4 guys.
Yeah.
Is there's only so much to go around on the field because the collective bargaining agreement and everything else, they've cut practice time so far back, there's just not a ton of reps to go around. And right now, you're trying to get a starting quarterback ready for week 1. So it's hard then to divvy up what's left on everybody else. So is where I think the problem is coming in of having these 4 guys here, is there's just not enough pie to slice up for all of them.
And Kevin Stefanski spoke before joint practice this morning. We'll talk a little bit about some of the things he said, but he was asked about the quarterback rep distribution, and he basically said what you guys have alluded to. Our starters are going to get the majority of the reps in joint practice, and then we're going to play the other guys in the game.
Yeah.
Meaning Flacco and Pickett, based off their current depth chart and how they're portraying it, are going to get most of the joint practice live reps. There will be no live tackling, by the way. He said there's not a live tackling period in either day of practice, which I was a little surprised at, which leads you to believe that
I'm a little surprised
Gabriel
by that too.
and Sanders would be the 2 quarterbacks that play the majority, if not all of the snaps in the actual preseason game. He also mentioned that Kenny Pickett, not ready to do 11-on-11s yet, but he is still in 7-on-7s, which means the hamstring, making some progress, but he's still not capable of being in those 11-on-11 situations. And if they don't feel comfortable putting him in an 11-on-11 when he can't even get hit, that tells you how far away he is from actually being able to truly step up and compete with Flacco for that starting job. So, just like last week, I understand why you're going to get Joe the majority of the reps in this 11-on-11, 7-on-7 session in joint practice. Your main goal of the preseason is to get ready for the regular season and get your starting quarterback ready. And by all indications, Jason, I know at times it may have looked like Pickett may have the inside track. Because of the injury, I feel like it's Flacco's job to lose
it's Joe.
that.
Yeah, it's Joe at this point.
So to me, it makes perfect sense in that regard. But I would like to see, and maybe I'm a crazy fan now, but I want to see Shedeur get some of those reps, especially even if it's 1 or 2 instead of Tyler Huntley. I just don't get what giving Huntley.
Yeah, the Huntley thing's weird. I mean, I'm not gonna. It's weird.
It's a 1 rep. It could have been anything.
Yeah. And I think the coaches, I don't think this is a secret. They put more value in the joint practice than they do the preseason game.
100%.
Those 2 practices.
Stefanski said that, by the way.
Yeah,
he said that today.
These 2 practices are where it's at for them, more so than the game.
Well, there's more control from the coaches to be able to communicate with the other team as to what they're trying to get out of a certain drill, whether it be 11-on-11, 7-on-7. Hey, coach, it's Stefanski's over there, and he's like, hey Nick, what we're gonna go good on good. They meet, they talk before practice about what they're trying to do.
Yep.
They're not giving the script to each other, but they're like, they know the level that they're going to put their ones against. You know what I mean? And so there is some rhyme and reason to what they're doing.
The preseason games, I sort of feel like the Ohio State spring game, where you guys would put all this work in during the spring, and then the spring game was more or less just a practice. Like, it really wasn't. Yeah. But to us, to the fans and the media, it was a really big deal because it's the only time that we got to see it. And it sort of feels like the same thing with these, where the real work goes on during the joint practices, and then the preseason game comes, and it's not as important. That's all we use to evaluate because that's all we have. But they have so much more, and the games aren't as important to them as the joint practices are.
And there's no video filming, by the way, of any team drills in Philadelphia. So they are just simply going off what the beat reporters who were actually there.
Are they doing this?
Us.
Are they at their facility? Is it at NovaCare, or do they leave campus?
I believe they're at NovaCare, but I'm not positive on that.
Because when I was in Philly, this is years ago. I mean, 20 years ago, we went to Lehigh.
No, they're at NovaCare.
Yeah, so they're at NovaCare. Okay.
One of the things Kevin Stefanski said this morning that I wanted to address real quick was he was asked about the Myles Garrett situation. And I know we don't have tag board, so I'm going to read what he said real quick. When asked about Myles' speeding ticket, Kevin Stefanski said, quote, "It's extremely disappointing. It's been addressed with Myles and the football team." There was a follow-up question asking Stefanski if the team would discipline Myles, and Stefanski said, we'll keep everything internal. Jason, I know you weren't here yesterday when we talked about it. Dustin, you don't have to add on, but just your real quick thoughts on the Myles Garrett speeding ticket and how it's kind of been covered in the day and a half since.
Yeah, I'll say the same thing I said about Shedeur. It's nothing I haven't done. I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and kill him when I've driven 100 miles an hour too myself. So
Yesterday.
yeah, I've actually tried to start
Probably this morning.
slowing down a little bit. Like as I get older, last couple months I'm like, probably don't need to be driving as fast as I've driven. But I think the thing with Myles is the fact that like this is his second massive contract. They've told him we need you to be a better leader. So it's not a great look from that aspect. I mean, nobody's asking me to lead an NFL franchise like they are him. So I get why the team's probably pretty frustrated with him at this point because they're like, dude, you already flipped a car. You almost
Yeah, I mean,
died.
nearly died in that accident. I mean, it
Yeah.
was like they had to use like the jaws of life to get him out of
Yeah.
the Porsche.
Yeah.
You know, so if he didn't have that, this is a non-story.
Right. And he said then that he was going to slow down, that he learned his lesson, that he was shaken up by it. But I think with all of us, enough time passes and the lesson sort of wears off a little bit. So I'm sure they're a little frustrated only from the standpoint, like Jimmy came out and said at the owners' meetings, we need him to be more of a leader now. And this obviously isn't great, but I'm not going to kill him over stuff that I've already done myself.
He wasn't going 140.
Yeah, it's just 100.
But dude, it's a 3-lane highway.
Yeah.
Okay, in a Ferrari that you literally have to put the brakes on for it to go like 80.
We've talked about this, and some of those cars. You and I have talked about this.
My wife has one, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane.
You don't even realize how fast you're going.
My point is, it's different between driving on 71 100 or driving 85 90 through Sharon, where he lives in Medina County.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I'm not making excuses for him. You can't do it, but it is very easy to do in some of those cars. It's very easy, and you don't even realize it. You're just gliding along. You feel like you're doing 65.
It does feel like 65.
And you look down, and you're like, oh.
But again, if he didn't have the first incident, this is a non-story. And I'm not belittling it. And I do care about people, but he's the only guy on the road, and it's I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the highway. It's like, okay, if he was going 150 miles an hour,
Right.
it's a different deal.
All right, let's get a read and let's get to our next topic.
Yeah, guys, I want to remind everybody that August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL preseason predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long-shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before Week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. You can go ahead and take a flyer on the MVP race, like Joe Burrow, or you can crown your champion in August, like the Bills. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now, because Future Day is only one day and one day only. FanDuel. Bet responsibly.
It's a great read.
And I know what the last line of that read is, Ant, and it catches me off guard every time. So you want to try the last line of that again?
Play your game.
See, it comes out of the blue. All right, guys, let's talk something that's a half mental, half physical question. Shedeur Sanders did what he did against Carolina. We all saw it. We've talked about it at length. 2 touchdowns, 139 yards, led 3 different scoring drives, and then they came back as a team on Monday. Had their final practice before heading to Philadelphia, and according to all the beat reporters who were there, whether it was Mary Kay, whether it was Daniel, whether it was Zach Jackson, Sean Dunnigan from KYC, who was out there, texted us and said the same thing. It was probably the best collective day from the quarterback group the Browns have had all camp. I know we make fun of the stat tracker, but for the first time all camp, there were no interceptions. They all had multiple touchdowns, and the completions were where you'd want to see, even for a hypothetical stat tracker that sometimes can be confusing as to what you're actually watching for. So, Dustin, I wanted to ask you this. When someone goes out, and in this case it was Shedeur, but it could have been anybody, and plays at a level like he did on Friday against the Carolina Panthers, we talk about, it's going to raise the bar of everyone around him. Is that something that actually happens in an athlete's mind, or is that something that's simply media fodder? Can an individual performance put pressure on other guys to raise their level as well?
Are we talking about that room? The quarterback room specifically?
For this specifically, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it can go the other way, too, where guys could wilt under the competition because you think that you're going to be all of a sudden like Gabriel, 3rd round pick. You're like, oh man, I'm a lock to make this team. I'm going to compete for this job. Well, then they draft Shedeur, 5th round, drafted like lower than you, and he plays well. Yeah, there's certainly pressure now on Dylan Gabriel to go out this weekend and play well. And then from like Shedeur's standpoint, like that's got to give him a confidence boost that his first time ever having NFL action, he went out there and looked like he belonged, and a lot of his throws were excellent throws, NFL type throws. He wasn't perfect. I mean, it wasn't an A+ performance, but it certainly was a B+. And for a rookie to go in there at the most important position and put together a B+ performance in your first ever game, I think it speaks a lot to this guy and the fact that, how far he's come from not really being able to understand an NFL playbook to how an NFL offense works, because what they did in college and Colorado, Jackson State, like it was a different deal than what they're doing now. A little bit more freelance, if you will, So I was very impressed with this, and to just kind of long-winded answer, yeah, it puts pressure on that entire room. And it puts pressure on Flacco and Pickett, and especially Pickett, who, man, the guy thought he had the golden ticket coming to Cleveland. He's like, this is a team that needs a quarterback. They like me. They traded for me, a team that never really wants to give up draft picks. So he knows that they hold a high value on him, and he hasn't been able to get on the field. So everybody's a little puckered up.
Jason?
I mean, it's the old saying from the Bible that iron sharpens iron. And I think you see that in competition where that's what coaches want. Coaches want competition. It raises the level of play of everybody in the room. So, yeah, I think Shedeur, the performance definitely got the attention of guys. I mean, Dylan has to sit here every day and listen. Like, you can block out as much as you want. These dudes grew up in the social media era. They're all over social media. Dylan sees all of it. He knows that basically the entire city wants to see the other guy and not him. No matter what the coaches say to him in the building, he's got to feel that on some level. I don't know how you would block that out. So, I think it raises the play of everybody around him, and that's a good thing. Like, you want that. You want everyone to bring out the best in each other.
That was my big takeaway from this. Like, yeah, it's human nature, and I can relate to basketball. You can relate to writing, Jason, Dustin. You played even in tennis. Someone's on the court next to you. Yeah. Put on a show.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you right now, dude. I play on Monday nights at Springside, and they got the 4-5s, which is like the high level guys, and they're playing on the court right next to me. Halftime, I'm watching them, I'm like, shit, I'm terrible. Yeah. I'm terrible.
And it makes you want to step your game up, so you look like you're fitting in.
And
sometimes it does.
It makes me play worse sometimes.
And that's the psychological battle, because it can go either way.
When I'm like peeking over at those guys, I'm like, God, dog, man, I can't do that.
Yeah, well, it's really funny you mentioned that, because I remember when we were wrapping up the Cavs beat, Joe and Dave and myself did a couple of podcasts. We came on your show. It might have been on your show or the Howard Beck one, where I think Dave's the one that said, I would have something one day, and then Joe would get something on LeBron or whatever, and Dave's like, man, I gotta get something. I gotta break news, or I gotta go find a nugget or something. So it just drives everyone to just be a little bit better.
I mean, even full disclosure, if I see a social clip from another show
that's getting run,
I'm like, how could I make that topic better? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to just steal your topic, but I'm going to see how we can put a spin on it. It happens all the time. They do it with us. We do it with them. It's competition brings out the best in people. And I think for the Browns in particular, like, you need the best from this quarterback room to have any chance of having a season that's not a bottom dweller in the league. And if Shedeur's performance against Carolina can make Joe play a little better in practice, can make Kenny play a little better in practice, can make Dylan Gabriel play a little better in practice, put a little more pressure on them to perform in game-like situations in these joint practices on Saturday against the defending Super Bowl champs, second and third teams, I know, but still the defending Super Bowl champs. It only helps the entire Browns organization. You don't want someone to go out there and had Shedeur laid a complete egg on Friday, right? Then maybe Gabriel gets a little complacent and says, I'm already ahead of him on the depth chart. He did that. Like, the gap just got wider. And Kenny Pickett says, maybe I can't take that extra day off. I don't have to force myself back that quickly because I'm not as afraid. And Joe Flacco, I don't think in the big picture whatever Shedeur and Gabriel do is going to impact Joe Flacco just because he's so established and old and a veteran. But when he does play like he did, hell yeah, if I'm Dylan Gabriel, to Jason's point, and I hear this stuff every day, I'm bringing my A game on Monday. And if I'm Kenny Pickett, there's no more time to just nurse a hamstring injury and not participate in what you're physically capable of participating in those days, because I got 2 guys behind me that are hungry for my spot.
I mean, if this was Pittsburgh and Kenny was the clear starter, unquestioned, do you think he'd even be out there right now in 7-on-7s with a bad hamstring?
Look at Matt Stafford.
No, Stafford hasn't taken a snap yet in camp.
Because there's
But why would you? The guy's an MVP.
Exactly.
He's a Super Bowl champion. Like, we need that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you watch Hard Knocks with the Bills and the defensive coordinators like, we don't touch 17.
Yeah.
He's off limits because they know. I mean, that's your golden ticket.
Yeah.
And same thing with Stafford. I mean, those guys, they got a nick here. They're not playing.
Yeah. And now,
but Kenny Pickett's not Matt Stafford.
And so even with a bad hamstring, that's why I'm a little bit surprised. I mean, obviously, they're not going to put him in harm's way, and you can control the environment. We talked about that earlier, especially in 7-on-7s. But if he was the clear leader in the clubhouse, if he was the unquestioned starter at quarterback, there is no way he's on the field with a soft hamstring for anything.
And even Gabriel, maybe, who's still dealing with the hamstring. Stefanski said this morning he's progressing quickly.
Yeah.
Like he's getting much closer. He is doing 11-on-11 stuff. But you don't have someone barking at your heels behind you, then you could be a little more cautious and be a little more patient and make sure you're not putting yourself in any potential further risk. But that's the beauty of what Shedeur did on Friday. Like, it raised the level, it raised the bar, it raised the stakes for everyone else against Philly. Next week against LA, I know they're not doing a joint practice, but those practices in the lead up to that final preseason game, it's going to put a lot of pressure on the coaching staff to figure out how they divvy up the reps to make sure they're getting a true evaluation of these guys.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts?
No.
I think we hit it all. Sweet. And this next topic is going to be fun, so let's get to it.
Yeah, guys, I want to remind everybody that this episode is presented by Yahoo Fantasy. Fantasy football is back. Fire up the group chat and get your draft board ready. And buckle up for a season filled with breakouts, busts, and all the overreactions that we live for. It's all going down on Yahoo Fantasy. This year, UCSS is back playing on Yahoo Fantasy, and you should too, whether you're a first-timer or a veteran making your millionth league. I love Yahoo Fantasy. Its user interface is second to none. It's super simple to use. And to celebrate 28 years of fantasy greatness, Yahoo Fantasy is dropping 28 big new features over 28 days, giving you more ways to play, more ways to draft, and more ways to win. It all begins on August 4th, so stay tuned and get started by creating or joining a Yahoo Fantasy Football League at yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL. That's yahoofantasy.com/LockedOnNFL, and let's make this fantasy season the best one yet.
All right, guys, did you happen to see Travis Kelce's interview in GQ magazine? Have you guys had a chance to check that out yet?
I saw a couple clips.
May have saw a headline about it. What was the topic?
One of the quotes from that interview that kind of caught my eye was him talking about his pre-draft interview with the Cleveland Browns. And if you keep hearing some email sound in your ears, I'm not sure if that's coming out over the actual airways, but something from VMix is chiming in our ears. Just a heads up. It sounds like
We'll
an
take a
email.
look at it.
It sounds like an email notification that we're hearing every time. Just the FYI, not a big deal. But did you see the quote he said about his pre-draft meeting with Cleveland? Jason, did you happen to see this?
Yeah.
And we have the graphic. If not, I'm going to read it here. But this is what Travis Kelce told GQ magazine. Quote, "I cried in Chud's office and said, I will effing die for this city. I literally was in tears. I said, I'm sorry I'm getting emotional. I grew up down the street. I would effing do anything to play for the Cleveland Browns." He looked at me like I was insane. I don't think he had ever had somebody just pour out their emotions. He went on to say that he thought he was going to be drafted by Cleveland. It ended up not panning out. He ended up getting drafted 63rd overall by the Kansas City Chiefs. But Dustin, before we get into the question I wanted to ask based off that quote, what's your reaction to Travis Kelce and what he said about his pre-draft meeting with the Cleveland Browns?
He got lucky. He dodged a bullet. Guy's a multi-time Super Bowl champion, has done everything. He's going to be a billionaire here when he puts a ring on the finger. I'm kidding, but not really. But no, in terms of the football side of things, his career probably never would have gotten to what it is now had he played for the Browns.
Well, that was the question, Jason, and we'll start with you because Dustin kind of just alluded to it. But no, perfect segue. What does Travis Kelce's career look like if he's drafted by Cleveland?
Well, I'm going to pivot just a little bit off of that because I saw a lot of reaction on social media like, typical friggin' Browns, they don't ever get anything right. They missed on that one too. And I think it's context is important. I think you have to go back to that draft and really look at what happened.
Did you look at their draft class that year?
Yeah.
I did too.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are a couple things that stood out. First of all, it was a terrible draft. The 2013 draft was terrible. That's when Joe Banner and Michael Lombardi were here. That's when they took Barkevius Mingo, and it's easy to say, oh, you should have taken Travis. No one's thinking about taking Travis Kelce in the first round.
And just real quick, to carry off that, Mingo was the 6th pick.
Yeah.
They didn't pick again until the 68th pick.
That's exactly right.
And that was Leon McFadden. By the 68th pick, Travis Kelce was off the board. So unless you're going to take Travis Kelce 6th,
right,
which would have been a good pick, but the reaction to that pick at the time.
The reality was he was a risk where they took him because, I mean, it was weed, whatever. Obviously, we look at this a lot differently than the league viewed it back then, but he was suspended at Cincinnati for the drugs. He had a knee injury. He had to have microfracture knee surgery. He missed his entire rookie year. You know, imagine at the time if you take a guy who misses his whole rookie, you're getting killed for that. And they didn't have a second-round pick because they used it on Josh Gordon the year prior in the supplemental draft. So I just think there's a ton of factors that play into the fact of why Travis Kelce was never going to come to Cleveland or why that just wasn't realistic at the time. And ultimately, you're right. He never would have had the same career. Look who would have been throwing to him.
Oh, I pulled that up. I did the numbers on this one. I was proud of myself. You ready for
this?
this?
This is Manziel. This is Hoyer, right?
Yeah, so 14, 15, 16, and 17 were his first 4 full years as a player.
Can I play the game?
Oh, sure.
Can I got see how I remember the quarterback?
Yeah, 14.
14 was Hoyer, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Manziel.
Yeah.
15?
Yeah. 15 was Whedon?
Nope.
Who's 15? Tell me.
McCown.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, God, I love him.
16?
Was that Whedon?
No, Whedon was prior.
Whedon was prior, yeah. Whedon's not on this. You can guess.
Whedon's not on the list? All right.
No, you can keep
Is that
guessing.
Kaiser?
Got to be Kaiser, right?
Kaiser was 17.
17.
16 was...
16. Who was the quarterback in 16?
That would have been the
year where the Cavs won it all. I'm trying to think who the quarterback of the Browns was.
I mean, it's a very forgettable name for what it's worth.
Wasn't Jake Delhomme?
Who was the coach in 16? Was it Hugh Jackson? Was it
Hugh. It had to be Hugh.
It's Hugh.
Cody Kessler?
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
Kessler, McCown, and RG3 all started that season. So you compare those quarterbacks to start your career.
Kaiser next year.
With
threw a pretty ball, man.
Alex Smith, who
St. Francis.
was Travis Kelce's quarterback for his first 4 seasons. I did a comparison. And you want to pull up the...
There's no way.
Kelce,
Travis Kelce's going to the Hall of Fame, guys, and he would have not been a Hall of Famer in Cleveland.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the conversation.
Mike, I hate to break it to you, but you never dropped your comparison graphic.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I looked for it.
Oh, my God, I'm mad. So I did some math this morning.
Yeah.
So in those first 4 seasons,
You can verbal it.
Kelce by himself, 307 catches, 3,900 yards, and 22 touchdowns. By himself. During that same 4-year stretch, all Browns tight ends, all of them, combined 269 receptions, 3,446 yards, and 21 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And that is significantly boosted from one really good Gary Barnidge season. If you take that season out, it is an absolute catastrophe for an entire position group. So, yeah, I think Dustin's right. As much fun as it would have been for Travis Kelce to have been a member of the Cleveland Browns during that stretch, think about all the losing they had gone through, the terrible quarterback play. He never turned into this version of Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Never.
No. It's the best thing that ever happened to his career. He was going to Kansas City, getting hooked up with Andy Reid and then Patrick Mahomes. He's got
a perfect storm for that family, his brother was a really good player.
Yep.
But ended up being on a team that won a Super Bowl.
Yep.
And and then his brother is winning Super Bowls and dating Taylor Swift. It's just a perfect storm of fame and accolades for everybody. I mean, not just on the field, but off the field. They're killing it now with their podcast. They're making $1 zillion off that thing.
You said he could be a billionaire. By marrying Taylor, they might be a billionaire after today's podcast drops and the views and the numbers and the money they get from that alone.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're doing really good things, and I'd say this much. I mean, I know Travis a little bit. I haven't talked to him probably in a couple of years, but I mean, we I've got a cell phone number. We were sort of like friendly. I guess he used to come on our show.
Yeah.
And they're really nice guys. You know, they're really down to earth. And
Yep.
I think everyone that knows them would say that they are not really changed by the fame.
It's funny because most of the time when you go from 0 to $1 million on the exposure level like they have, it burns out fast and people get sick of you. And that really hasn't happened yet with those guys.
No.
I do think that there's some overexposure there. They're everywhere now, but I don't think
They're really likable.
Yeah, it hasn't reached the point of like, all right, enough with the Kelces. And that happens quite
The only
often.
time I thought it ever reached that was when Jason was on the Monday Night Football broadcast for the Eagles game last year.
I don't remember that.
And they built the whole pregame around Jason Kelce doing.
Oh, yeah.
And it looked like, and the fan came on stage and
Yeah.
chest bumped him and tore his ACL. And I was like, all right, this is the one time where it's
Yeah.
a
little over the
excess.
top.
But
We
other than
jumped
that,
the shark here a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I did have a question on this though. When I was going back and looking at those Browns tight end seasons, how the hell did Gary Barnidge have a 1,100-yard, 9 touchdown?
He was a good
season?
player, man. He was a really, really smart.
Did they just feature him as like the number one focal point in that offense?
He was a decent blocker, but he had really good hands. He was a smart dude. There was a run there for a little while where we just had like these nondescript tight ends, and he was one of them who just all of a sudden. Who was the main quarterback thrown into? Was it Hoyer?
15 was.
Or was that
McCown.
McCown, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, McCown had a security blanket, and they had a nice connection. I do remember that. We interviewed him a ton on Bull and Fox back in the day.
I don't remember. Who else did they have to throw to? Was that the Terrell Pryor year?
No, Pryor was later.
I don't even know.
Pryor was like 2017.
This was 2015 that he had his
I don't
monster
even know
season.
who else would have been. Who else? did you
No,
have to
because
throw it to?
this is 15. You said?
Yeah, 15.
Yeah, I mean, because Josh Gordon's big year was what 2013 or 2014.
It was before that.
Yeah,
Barnidge
so
led the team
before-
with
it was-
1,100.
It was before, yeah.
He had 85 catches for 1,100 yards and 9 touchdowns. Like that's a legitimately good season, especially in that era when passing numbers were all down.
Yeah.
Like that's a hell of a season.
Oh yeah. No, it was.
Part of that's also like.
There's nobody else. Someone's
gotta
got to catch passes.
Yeah, you're going to complete passes in the end. Somebody's got to catch them. So I'd be interested to go back and look and see who else they had to throw to on those teams. It probably was not much.
I was shocked to find out that's one of the greatest receiving seasons in the history of this franchise too. Like it's
pitiful.
It's
Not
just a
saying
weird
much.
list. Yeah, well I know, but it's just a weird list when you actually go back and look at it, and it's Amari Cooper and Josh Gordon has the one season that stands out above the rest, and then it's a list of guys who you're like, oh,
I mean, the leading
a little
receiver.
surprised to see that.
Leading receiver for this team is still a tight end
Ozzie Newsome, right?
from 50 years ago. Yeah, I mean, think about the way that NFL offenses have exploded over the last 20, 25 years, and the way that they throw the ball. And this team's best pass catcher is still a tight end from the 70s and 80s. Are you kidding me? Like that's mind blowing.
What do you think Kelce has left in him for this year, Dustin?
Um,
Because he certainly wasn't the same caliber of player he
No.
did last year.
No, I think he's Father Time, undefeated. We know that. So at some point he'll start to slow down. I think he still has like the old man strength now. You can see him like he's not quite as nimble as he used to be, but he's still really smart. And the fact that Mahomes and him have such a connection where they're just sort of on the same wavelength at all times, I can't take that away. That chemistry is something that you just can't teach, can't coach it. They have it. And regardless of how old he gets. I mean, we saw Gronkowski late in his career. I know he's still a little bit younger maybe than Kelce is now, but with Tom, I mean, Tom knew where he was going to be. And I think the same thing can be said for Kelce. And they're just – and they don't have a ton of great studs to throw to, too, so he's still going to be a featured weapon in that offense. So he'll still make plays. I can't see him playing much longer, though.
This has to be his last year, right?
Yeah, and why not? Why ride it out?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, football is a brutal game. It's hard. It's it's tough on the body. It's tough on the brain. You've made so much money. You've won your Super Bowls. Like, really, what more do you need?
He's not as good as he once was, but he can be as good once as he ever was.
Yeah.
For this season, we'll wrap it up with this.
That's right.
Would you rather have Njoku or Kelce this year?
I mean, for
Oh,
what
I mean,
team are you-
for our situation, I'd rather have Njoku, probably because he's a better athlete, and he's in a contract year. More importantly,
and there's more runway for him to stick around.
Sure.
Whereas the Browns aren't going anywhere. Now, if you're trying to win a Super Bowl, take Travis Kelce.
yeah.
But
we don't have Mahomes.
Yeah, for the situation the Browns are in right now.
If you were like let's pick a random team with a halfway decent. If you were Seattle had the choice of Njoku or Kelce, who do you think Seattle would take?
Seattle.
I don't know.
won the Super Bowl this year.
They'd probably take Njoku too.
Yeah.
Age, right? It
You've
comes
got to
down-
be a
Yeah,
team.
there's an age, and I mean that team is kind of starting over with a new coach and with a new quarterback. Isn't Darnold there now?
Darnold.
Yeah.
If I'm Buffalo, I'm taking Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Over Njoku.
So anything that's not in that Super Bowl contender.
Yeah. If you got a legitimate chance and you think we got the quarterback, we got a chance at this, you're gonna take Travis Kelce. But unless
right
you're
answer.
that team, I would take Njoku.
What's Kelsey's contract status? Sorry to put you on the spot there. I was just
I can
thinking,
tell you.
does he want to moonlight in Cleveland for 1 year? If the Browns find a way to get the number 1 pick next year?
I mean, I don't know. I think that ship's probably sailed for
I mean,
him.
you read the quote from 2013.
Yeah,
Those feelings don't change.
A lot's
I would
changed.
effing die for
Yeah,
that
but
city.
the heart doesn't change. From the childhood heart doesn't change. But who knows?
I don't see it. I think that time is.
Was there a rumor that he was building something maybe here in town with?
This is his last year. under
He'll be a
contract.
Brown next year.
There was a rumor that him and Taylor were shopping for houses.
That's
in
what I
Cleveland
had
over the
saw.
weekend.
I don't know if it was
In
real
Chagrin,
or not.
right?
I think so.
They
yeah.
had.
Yeah. They had lunch in Chagrin.
They have. I mean, his parents aren't here anymore. There's no ties to the area. I don't see it. I could be wrong.
Never
I
know.
don't see it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. People,
he had a
people
ton-
from Ohio can't get away from Ohio.
That's true. But if he still had a ton of family here, all right, I could see it. Like
Maybe T Swift just loves Cleveland.
That's why she's never done a show here. Has she?
It's financial.
I
No,
she's
I don't
ever
think
done
she
a show.
has.
Yeah, I don't think
But
she's ever
also,
done a
with
show.
her private jet, he can literally go anywhere.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's also fair.
I don't think Travis will ever play for the Browns.
All right. Well, when it comes to signing the Browns next year, Jason, you have to ask the first question. And I didn't want you here, and I'm disappointed you are. So we'll clip that and save it, play it for Travis, and they can dissect it
Hey,
on
if
the
he wants
next
to come
New
here for
Heights
you, it'd be great.
episode.
It'd be a great culture for the.
It'd be
locker room.
fun. Like if nothing else, it'd be fun.
Well, there's something to be said for this area, though. I mean, you said why would you live here? It's like it's a great place to raise kids and have a family. Super. I mean, not that money matters for them, but I mean, it's really reasonable to live here.
I
in
mean,
Ohio.
you came back.
Yeah.
I had opportunities to leave. I'm staying. I'm a lifer.
I came
Even
here.
if I go somewhere else, and Sarah and I talk about it all the time, like going because she grew up in Florida and like going down there.
Yeah.
Maybe like be snowbirds or something.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to leave Ohio. The summer in Ohio is the best.
It's the best.
It's the best.
For June, May, beginning of May can still be a little gross.
From Memorial
but
Day on, it's usually pretty darn good
it's all the way
until
through
basically my
September.
birthday in October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we've talked about, like, I want to be in a position, if the kids leave, to be able to follow them. But I'll always come back.
Yeah.
I'll always be
Yep.
here.
All right, Ant. What's up?
I want to remind everybody that we are doing a post-game show this Saturday after
Yes.
the preseason game. Do you want to tell us a little bit? It's going to be you, Earl, and G.
Yeah, it's the same squad as always. Our first preseason post-game show did such good numbers. We got to run it back and do it again. Depending on
Man,
the
y'all were feeling yourself in the group chat, man.
quarterback breakdown, hey, the truth is we could have said whatever we wanted. We had the fan base hooked, and the Shedorians came out and supported
The
in a big way.
Shedorians.
So we're hoping the Gabrielites join us as well, because it seems like it could be half Gabriel, half Shedeur. But we are going to go.
being the key word.
We're going to go live at the end of the game, and then we will talk about what we saw from the quarterbacks. Unless the only change would be if Gabriel doesn't play and Tyler Huntley comes in. As soon as Huntley comes in, we will go live because no one cares what Tyler Huntley does. So if that's the case, we'll go live just like we did.
Are there
the
Tyler
first
Huntley
one?
fans?
There's no Huntorians, no. Huntleyers. I don't know. I kind of like the Gabrielites.
That's not
I
bad,
kinda
but
flew
I
off
don't
the
know that
stump.
there are any Gabrielites. Maybe mom and dad and a couple cousins and
put
an
it this way,
uncle.
we
It's
know what the
National Left-Handed Day.
we
I'm
know what the
Gabrielite
Shedorian
today.
numbers are. So anything more than that, I'll just assume is the Gabrielites. So we'll do it like that. Hey, you want to talk about Guardians that we're going now?
Yeah, let's do it. They won a game yesterday with Jose hitting 2 home runs. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, he now has 27 multi-homer games, Jason. That is the most of
Yeah.
any player in the history of Cleveland baseball. More than Albert Bell, more than Jim Thome, more than Manny Ramirez. You name it, it don't matter. That guy right there is more multi-homer games than anyone. It was really nice to see Jose snap out of his slump. Before last night, he was just, I believe it was 7 of 42 in the month of August, excuse me. Last night, 3 for 4, 2 ribbies and 2 home runs, including the game winner. Jason, it's Jose's world. We're just living in it, man.
I don't know that people appreciate how hard it is to have a franchise record with this franchise. It's been around for over 100 years. I mean, think about that. I remember when we did the all-time jersey listings of the best player to ever wear whatever numbers. It's really hard with them because you've got Hall of Famers from 100 years ago. So it's actually, I know this team, Cleveland, was terrible in the 60s and 70s and 80s and all that, but the history is so rich. To have any sort of record like that is really quite an accomplishment, especially when you talk about the teams of the 90s and the Bells and the Ramirez and Tomey and just the power that this team has seen. He's a special player, man. He's a special talent. He's unique to the city. All the money that he passed up to stay here and sign long term, he deserves all of the praise and love and accolades that he gets. He's just an incredible player, and it's been fun watching him grow from this guy who was never supposed to be, like, he was never a top prospect. He was never supposed to be this.
How did he get so good, Jason?
Just hard work and determination and belief in himself. And you could say that, I mean, a lot of guys put in the hard work and have the determination and the belief. But his ability to find the barrel at his size is unbelievable. And there's not many guys. Dustin Pedroia was another small guy who could do it. There are not many guys at his size who can generate the power that he does in his swing.
Altuve?
Yeah, Altuve is another one. And just the swagger that he plays with and the confidence that he has in himself, he's fun, man. He's a joy to watch. And there will be a statue someday of him. And I know he's got the no-trade clause. Hopefully he spends his whole career here. It'd be a great story.
It's really incredible, the fact that he is still here, and that he literally could end up ending his career here, because it's never happened in this modern day of baseball without a salary cap and teams paying everybody. I mean, our good players become Yankees, and that is not hopefully going to be the case with Jose Ramirez. I wish they could have got him a title in 2016.
Yeah.
Still hope for that, because it's baseball and you never know what can happen. But man, I love the guy. I mean, talk about, you want to buy a jersey of a Cleveland athlete? Like that's the jersey.
That one's pretty safe.
Pretty safe.
There are two guys in baseball this year that are part of the 25-25 club. 25 homers, 25 stolen bases. It's Jose and it's PCA in Chicago. That's it, the entire list. When we talk about most valuable players, Jason, he's not going to an MVP. He's not even close in odds to Cal Raleigh and Aaron Judge. Probably won't. But Jason, is there a more valuable player in baseball than what Jose means to this lineup?
No, not one player to one lineup. I mean, where would this team be without him? And he's had some errors earlier in the year, but for the most part, throughout his career, he's been phenomenal defensively as well. Some of the plays he made defensively in that postseason last year, some of the picks and throws that he had from third base were unbelievable. So, yeah, I mean, if you take Aaron Judge off the Yankees, it's a big loss to them, but they're still the Yankees. But and Cal Raleigh's having an amazing year. What he's doing as a switch hitting catcher and playing in the most physically demanding position but it's just 1 year, and we'll see what he does for the rest of his career. But Jose's just consistent excellence for this franchise at the top of the lineup in the middle of the order is unmatched in baseball today, really, when you think about it. And Dustin, you're right. How many guys? Judge could be that guy in New York that spends his whole career there, but it just doesn't happen anymore where a guy spends his whole career in one place. And we got that opportunity now with Jose, and we'll see how the rest of this finishes out. It's certainly pointing in that direction at this point, and we'll see if they can finish this off and get him a World Series here before he retires.
He certainly deserves it. What he does on a night-in, night-out basis is incredible. He's their best hitter. He's probably their best base runner. He's not their best fielder, but he's certainly no slouch in the field.
No.
He's the undisputed team leader in terms of the energy brought and how everyone else feeds off it. And he's the one guy in the lineup that you have to circle at all times and say, we don't want to have anyone on base when Jose's up. And
couldn't he play at any position in the field? Like, I mean, not like better than the best, but I'm saying, like, if you're like, oh man, we're in a pinch, like, go play first base.
I mean,
couldn't he like, he's just that good of a baseball player, I feel like.
He came up as a second baseman. Obviously, he's phenomenal at third.
Yeah.
I don't know that you'd want to put him at short at this stage of his career. There was a time where I think he could have handled short. I don't know that you want to put him there now. If you need to get through a game, he could probably give it to you. If you can play second and third, outfield, you could get by. Yeah, he probably could.
Tell me you couldn't throw that guy in a relief role for need 3 outs?
As a pitcher?
Yes.
I mean, you see position players pitch all the time.
That's what I'm saying. If that situation happened, he'd be one of the best ones I bet you put out there.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea how to gauge that.
I don't know what his fastball would be.
I'm actually curious now.
I feel like the outfielders with the giant arms.
With the big arms?
Like Acuna could throw 107, I feel like.
Acuna's nuts.
Him and O'Neal Cruz.
Oh, that's insane, yeah.
Speaking of pitchers, though, Jose was the story last night. Manzardo also hit the home run, which was nice to see. Logan Allen, Jason, this is a guy that, and I defer to Bull and you and Jay on a lot of the inside baseball mechanisms, and this is a guy, Logan Allen, that Bull said at best he thought he's a AAA pitcher. He's your sixth starter. He's been kind of just off, doesn't love his stuff. But when you look at the consistency that Logan Allen's had this year, I went through the game logs, Jason. He's made 22 starts. He's given up more than 4 earned runs once in 22 starts. Like is he ever going to be an elite, dominant shutdown pitcher? No. But his season numbers, and on a game-by-game basis, this dude's been consistently good, and I think that's all you could really ask for. It's been kind of the dream season for Logan.
Yeah, he's been very good. Especially, I didn't do this before the show. Probably, I'd like to see his numbers over the last month, 6 weeks or so. He's been very good. He's been consistent. He's never considered like a top prospect. We talked about this before. It was always Espino, Gavin Williams, and Tanner Bybee were the big three as they were coming through the organization. And Logan was just sort of a rotation filler, an innings eater, a guy, number 4, number 5 type starter, a guy who just sort of fills the hole until you get a better option. And this year he's had a great year, and he's sort of put some things together now. I don't want to take anything away from him. He was never high on my list. I was never a big Logan Allen fan. But he's certainly been consistent enough, and he's one of those guys that has kept them in it and kept them in the race this year.
We got a little bit of breaking news right now, Ant, so we're going to pivot.
Oh, boy.
We got an update on Shedeur. Do you have a read before we do the breaking news with Shedeur?
No, let's just go right into this one.
Okay, so according to Adam Schefter, Shedeur Sanders suffered an oblique injury while throwing during the early portion of practice today. That's why he was held out for the rest of the session, answering our question from earlier in the show as to why he wasn't getting any of those reps. Mary Kay also said the same thing. She added, and this is her opinion, not a fact, means he probably won't play Saturday.
Yeah.
Dustin, an oblique injury on a Wednesday, what does that mean for his status come Saturday?
I mean, if he's not practicing because of the oblique, he probably won't play. Those things are, and I know from playing, the sport I play now is a lot more of this core than the position I played in football. But the position he plays in football, it's all core. So he's got to make sure that area, because you do any sort of twisting and throwing and contortion, all that stuff is going to be painful. So I'm guessing he's probably down for the next week.
Probably. I mean, baseball pitchers get an oblique injury, you're down a month.
Yeah.
So it's 4 to 6 weeks with obliques usually, roughly. In baseball.
Does it matter the severity? I mean,
severity always matters.
We have no idea the severity.
He could have
of
just tweaked it, and it could be a couple-day thing.
Right.
And maybe he plays on Saturday. Obviously, there's speculation there from Mary Kay. I'm guessing it's probably an informed speculation, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like she probably has a little insight on it more than we do. But I mean, the good news is the guy played really well, so they have some tape of him and know what he can do. But it's unfortunate because I do think he was going to get a lot of reps on Saturday.
Yeah.
He was going to play half the game.
Yeah.
I genuinely think the plan was for Gabriel to play half and Shedeur to play half, assuming health. Now you have 3 of your 4 quarterbacks, by the way, all dealing with some sort of injury, and the 41-year-old,
the old man, is
somehow the healthiest of the 3.
Yeah.
Just a question, and we have no idea, no information. If he heard it throwing earlier in the day or earlier in the practice, does that tend to be more of a strain? I feel like it'd be tough to tear an oblique, because usually when you tear an oblique, Jason, that's from like the full-on swing.
Oh, you're saying like maybe he wasn't like going like 100%, like in terms of how hard he was throwing, or how much
torque
exertion he was.
Exactly, because like with Giancarlo Stanton on the Yankees, every time he swings a bat, he ends up straining his oblique, and he swings the bat so hard, and it's always he's a right-handed hitter, so when he swings, it's his backside oblique.
So put it this way, when I golf, I don't golf very often, and I don't golf very well. I have one of those orange ball things in my bag that you swing trainer, like just to help warm up the swing. Mm-hmm. And I use that so that I don't get up there on the tee box and try to swing out of my shoes and tear an oblique. You want to try to get yourself warmed up. I'm sure he does all that stuff, but either way, the amount of stress that he put on it, being early in practice, I think it's actually a good take by you. It hopefully is not as bad. It wasn't a full live drill where he was really like. That's when you pull muscles or really tear muscles, is when you're going harder than you probably should, or you're trying to really get.
Trying to squeeze in a ball.
Yeah,
I mean, you're trying to let it rip.
Guys, tear their Achilles, going for a ball they shouldn't go for, or they do something that they just try to push their limitations. So. Again, we're not doctors. Who the hell knows?
Right.
Yeah.
But we're hoping that it's not as serious as a 4 to 6 week thing as it could be, like a pitcher.
Yeah.
It would be very disappointing, from just me personally speaking, if this is the end of the Shedeur experience in camp. If this injury is a 2-3 week injury.
What a Brownsian way to just sort of whimper out of training camp.
No, and
it's been fun training camp.
It's what I'm saying. It's been like, this has been the storyline we've watched.
You won't have all your followers on the post-game show.
I know. Well, it's the Gabriel Lights are gonna make it a light post-game show. But like, Sal Paolantonio was on ESPN this morning from joint practice before it started. The Eagles are defending Super Bowl champions, and the question was, what's Shedeur Sanders? The first question they asked him on SportsCenter is, what's the Browns' plan for Shedeur today? And he was like, well, Kevin Stefanski's talking a little bit. We'll find out when he says. But early indications are the joint practice reps will go to the starters. Shedeur and Dylan will play in the game. It's the biggest story in camp, and it'd be an absolute bummer.
Our shows and things we talk about, ESPN's going to play the hits. People want to know what Shedeur is doing.
Yeah.
The fact that he played well in that preseason game, and the Nike commercial, like all this, dude. I mean, it's a big-ass story.
And it would be a shame if the only glimpse of Shedeur that we got against real competition, not the 3s and the 4s, is that Carolina game where he looked every bit of a competent quarterback. I understand competition is what it is, but like, he showed things that translate regardless of who you're playing. And if this is the end of the Shedeur training camp experience, because he's going to miss 2-3 weeks potentially with an oblique injury, it'd be a bummer, and it feels very, you're right, Brownsy, and that's how it would come to an end. On a pre-practice warm-up throw that he strained an oblique on.
I just can't believe that they had 4 quarterbacks and 3 of them have already been hurt.
That's the old guy.
Mid-August. Pickett with the hamstring.
And
are we going to get 3
Gabriel
quarters?
had a hammy, right?
Yeah.
As well?
Yeah.
And now an oblique. It's like, dude, what are we doing with our quarterbacks? Quarterbacks should be getting, like, muscle injuries.
And you would think between the 4 of them, there's fewer reps to go around than – it's not like it's just one guy and it's like, oh, he threw a million passes.
It's not like these guys have an elbow or a shoulder, something they're actually, putting a little wear and tear on.
Right.
Or like, you take a shot and you're out with a concussion or something. Like, it's a hamstring.
Yeah. And now an oblique. I just hope, we were talking earlier about Pickett. If the job is his, he's not taking 7-on-7 reps. I just hope Shedeur doesn't try and rush back, give this thing time to heal. And hopefully it is just a few days. I'd be surprised because obliques typically are not just a couple of days. It would have to be very, very mild for it to be just a couple of days.
Not good. Not fun.
Not great.
Yeah, not ideal. I want to see what the kid can do. And the more preseason games, that's when he was going to get his most reps, his most opportunities. And, hopefully, to Jason's point, it's a day or two kind of thing, couple days. But I just go back.
Well, Shedeur is going to want to compete, and he wants to play. So if it's a serious thing and he can't go, then it is what it is. But if it's not, he's going to want to be back out there to play in this game. He knows he needs the reps, he needs the opportunities to prove he's a competitor. I mean, he's
a tough-ass kid, too.
It's Deion Sanders' kid, man.
He's a tough-ass kid.
He knows how to compete.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, the kid knows how to compete.
And
he may not be able to read a playbook yet, but he knows how to freaking compete.
And when you look at what he took and the punishment he took at Colorado behind that offensive line, like, there's no question this dude's toughness. Like, this dude is proven on a football field. He's a
good kid,
so,
and all those things. He just needs to learn how to play the position at a professional level.
Yeah.
And that's what preseason games are for, to help him expedite that process. All right, Ant.
Yeah, guys, I want to remind everybody to follow us all over on social media. We've got X, we've got Instagram, we've got TikTok. Some new graphics have been going up. Shout out to Luke. All of our content and highlights and clips you can find right over at those handles. Give us a follow. Share with your friends. Mike, you want to talk some basketball? Kenny Atkinson, second-year coaching jump. What you got for me?
Yeah, Jason and I did a Cavs show this morning, and we had a whole rundown planned. And then during the first portion of our discussion, Jason said something that sparked this idea in my mind, and we discussed it a little bit. We're going to elaborate on it now. But Jason, for anyone who didn't see the Ultimate Cap Show this morning, you should go check it out first and foremost. We always talk about the year 1 to year 2 jump for players. After your rookie season, you learn the ins and outs of the league. You learn what worked, what didn't work, where you have to work on, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, all the above. And we often see players, not just in basketball, but in football and baseball, make the biggest jump from any year to year in their career from year 1 to year 2. So the question I had was, can a coach make a similar jump from year 1 to year 2? Is there such thing as a coaching jump similar to a player jump? And if so, would it apply to Kenny Atkinson in this situation, even though he does technically have prior head coaching experience in Brooklyn?
Yeah, we were talking about this morning. I'll just sort of simplify what I said. I don't think there is a big leap for him to take because he does have a ton of experience. He was head coach of Brooklyn. I think he learned a lot of just having gone through that in Brooklyn about how to manage stars. And so then he carries that over to Golden State, where he learned quite a bit under Steve Kerr, I think, on culture and how to relate to players and building the type of mood and vibe that you want within a team. The big thing that I think he learned from last year going into this year was just postseason, series to series, and how to manage lineups and rotations and within a series. And last year was the first time that he had a chance to coach a team that could win a championship. And that comes with a different set of expectations and pressures than a team that's just trying to compete. He had a massive rebuild in Brooklyn. There's not a lot of pressure on you in Brooklyn to win. Where he walked in, that franchise had been gutted, and they were really starting to rebuild the whole thing. So he went through that, and he learned that. And I think he learned probably about himself as a coach from going through that. But then when you take a leap and you take over a team that's trying to press the button, okay, it's time to go and it's time to win right now, when you're going against Eric Spoelstra in a playoff series, when you're going against Rick Carlisle, two guys who have won championships, who have been there, and now it's on you to how do you adjust your rotation, how do you bench guys, how do you move away from certain things that aren't working where you have more time in the regular season than you do in a postseason. I think that's probably the nuance that he learned last year coming into this year. And also the other point was he just didn't have a lot of time here last year because he was coaching Team France and trying to get ready for the Olympics. And he was flying literally across the world multiple times. He was only in Vegas for a couple of days. So he didn't have a chance to really get to know guys and really dig in with guys. Whereas this offseason, he's been able to go to various places across the country and spend time with Evan Mobley and spend time with different guys. And I think that there's more layers to the playbook now that he can get into because he's not trying to compete in the Olympics. And I think he's just going to be more refreshed because what a grind that was for him if you go all the way back last summer and then going through last season and then the playoffs and everything else. I'm sure he needed time to just recharge emotionally, mentally, all that because it was such a demanding position that he was put into. So for all of those reasons, I think he'll be better. I think you'll get a better version of Kenny this year than you had last year, and you had a pretty good version last year. But I don't know that there's any big year-to-year leap that he will take because he's not a young coach. He had quite a bit of experience by the time he got here.
I'll say this. For Kenny this year, it's going to be different because last year, I feel like the pressure was more on like Kobe last year because you're bringing everyone back to, you're running the thing back, right, with the big three, core four, and now they got so far, they fell short. And like the guy said yesterday, Bull says this all the time, talk to me in April.
Yeah.
And so now Kenny's got to get to this, go coach through an entire season where really he's not even going to be judged until May.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing he does in regular season matters.
Yep.
They're going to make the playoffs. We know that. But how they perform in the postseason is what his legacy is going to be. And will he be the coach of the Cavs long term? Well, we'll find out in May and June.
It is crazy that there's going to be an 82-game slate
that no one's going to care about.
Year 2 of Kenny Atkinson that is basically, it's not irrelevant to fans, but it's irrelevant to how we'll judge this team. Whether they win 65 games.
And listen, I'm a season ticket holder. I'll still be there
Yeah.
at games, and I'll be loving it and having a ball. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, when I talk to my buddies who I'm traveling around doing college or whatever, and they know I'm a Cavs fan, it's like, okay, well, Are the Cavs good? Yeah, they're good. They've been good for the last several years, but are they good enough? Are they playoff tested? No.
That's the question.
We don't know.
Yeah.
They're good. Are they good enough? When it comes to a year-to-year jump for a coach, I do think if you're a first-time head coach, if you're 38, 39 years old, like when Will Hardy, the Jazz coach, got hired, he had been an assistant for a few years, but it's his first time ever being in charge of a team, regardless of the overall structure and how long, what you're doing in that role. Kenny's been a head coach in Brooklyn for 4 years before he came to Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it's a different circumstance, you kind of know how it works at that point. It was his 5th year as a head coach. It's not like anything caught him by surprise. What I do think there is a level of a jump to be made is in how and when he utilizes certain switches. When it's your first year with the team, you're not exactly sure when it's like, okay, Dustin, when do I pull this card in the locker room? When do I have to use all right, you guys effed up gigantically, I got to go off in the post-game speech to make sure they get the reaction I want.
You're coaching millionaires that you don't know personally.
Exactly.
So you need to develop rapport, and I mean, that's still what your thunder here. But like, yeah, you do. It takes time to understand how far you can take a player, or how you push this guy's buttons versus that guy's buttons.
Yeah.
How do I be hard on Spida, and maybe not as hard. Like you got to learn to. You
got to learn the guys.
You can't coach every guy the same.
No. And you have to learn the guys.
Especially on the NBA. Yeah,
and to Jason's point last year, between the coaching in the Olympics, getting this job, flying back and forth, like there wasn't a lot of time for that preseason bonding, which, you talk to the players in the Cavs locker room, like they all like Kenny. They get to see, and at least that's what the impression I get is maybe they hate him behind closed doors. I don't know that level, but I get the impression they all seem to like Kenny. So I think knowing how to coach those guys is a jump you can take. And then I mentioned this on the Cavs show we did this morning, Jason. The Cavs didn't have a counter to a lot of things last year, especially in the playoff series. And I know injuries play a part in that when they lost Mobley and they didn't have DG at full health and DeAndre wasn't the same player after the thumb injury. When Indiana countered what the Cavs wanted to do from an offensive standpoint, Cleveland didn't have a counter to the counter. Like they played their way. When it was taken away, they struggled to score at times. Now that Kenny has guys in the system for another season, and the players are even more comfortable in what Kenny wants to do from a baseline standpoint on both ends of the court, you can start adding in little wrinkles to build upon your counters to what teams are going to want to take away. And frankly, I think one season by a postseason is enough that the guys should know more, and I was disappointed that in last year's playoffs against Indiana, they didn't have a counter to Indiana's defensive adjustments. So in year 2, you better have the answers to the answer, or you better have the counter to the answer, to the adjustment, because these guys are at a level and you're competing for a championship to where you're not going to win just being able to do what you want to do.
I do think this is the first year where there's going to be a considerable amount of pressure on this organization because they make the coaching change last year. They get off to an unbelievable start, and they are the darlings of the league. At no point did they really feel that pressure.
Pressure, all those things.
Until it was the Pacers series, until you get injuries, guys go down.
Until they lose game 2.
And now the building's on fire. It went from everything is great to
the dog meme.
Oh, crap. And it happened like that. So this is really the first time where they have to sort of manage that. Like the pressure's on them now. And how do you as a coach navigate that? Because the way that this team is structured, they have 2 years with this group, and then they're going to have to make some really hard decisions. Doesn't mean they can't win beyond that, but with this group, with the way that this team's constructed, they have at most 2 years. So if it doesn't happen this year, now you're going in with 1 year left. So just having to navigate, first of all, keep them motivated, keep their attention, keep them focused, because Dustin, you said it, nobody cares about the regular season.
Right.
Well, these guys still have to build good habits through the regular season. They still have to put themselves in position for April, May, and June. You use the regular season to build for April, May, and June. And then when you get there, to be able to manage the pressure and handle the pressure of the situation. So it'll be fascinating to me from that standpoint of like how do they manage the expectations, how do they handle the pressure, because they went from a team that no one expected this to happen as quickly as they did. They arrived last year faster than anyone thought that they would, so they explode onto the scene as this top team in the league and championship contender, and then it unraveled on them so quickly they didn't have to really deal with that pressure throughout an entire season and into a postseason.
Jason, I mean, if this team does not make the NBA Finals this year, it's a disappointment. I'm not saying they got to win the whole thing, but with no Tatum and
no Halliburton?
No Halliburton with Pacers. I mean, dude, those teams are not going to be the same. They'll still probably be playoff teams, but they're not going to be contenders. I think it's going to be tough to beat OKC. I'll say that. But the Cavs better be right there going to the finals.
There could not be a better runway for Cleveland than in the Eastern Conference right now than the situation Cleveland's in. They bring everybody back, essentially. It's
Red Sea,
essentially
baby.
the same
Red
team
Sea to the finals.
that won 64 games last year. Your number one team that you would say this probably is our biggest competition, the Celtics, is now without their best player for, if not the entire season, the majority of the season.
He won't be the same if he comes back at any point.
Indiana, the team that just made the finals, is without the engine of their entire team, and they're actually going to
the guy that single-handedly beat us.
And they lost Myles Turner too in free agency. The Bucks are a mess. The Sixers have all the health issues. There's some upstart teams. The Knicks are still good. Magic should be better with Desmond Bane. The Hawks have a chance to be pretty frisky, but the Cavs are the clear-cut best team in the Eastern Conference right now and should be the prohibitive favorite to come out of the East. But all the questions of, hey, this team hasn't performed in the playoffs. Is this team capable of being mentally and physically tough enough to win a playoff series against a New York or an Orlando or a team like that? Until we get an actual answer to that question, Jason, they're all incredibly fair. But the runway and the path to what they want to get to could not be better situated than it currently is.
Yeah, I think the Cavs are the best team in the East. I think they're better than the Knicks. But do you think the Knicks are scared of the Cavs?
Not even slight.
No chance. You think Orlando's scared of the Cavs?
Nope. Not even a little bit.
No. So that'll be interesting to watch because I do think Orlando could be one of those teams that really emerges this year. They got to stay healthy. They had a ton of injuries last year. If they stay healthy, the Cavs should beat all of them. I think on paper they're the most talented team in the East. But those two teams in particular have pushed the Cavs around in the past. They've had success with them in physicality in playoff series. I don't think either one of those teams would be scared to see the Cavs in a playoff series. Or they wouldn't look at that and go, oh, man, we don't want any part of that team.
No, when you look at the OKC run to the finals last year, in the first round series against Memphis, you could tell Memphis was terrified of OKC. They wanted nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Second round, Denver's not scared of anybody.
Right.
And they ended up forcing a Game 7 against Oklahoma City, and that was a back-and-forth series, and they were an Alex Caruso defensive showing against Nikola Jokic away from losing in the second round for the second consecutive year. And had that happened, Jason, they'd be facing the exact same questions that Cleveland's going through right now, because that would have been 2 straight years as the 1 seed that they got bounced by the 4 seed and a team that probably would have made the finals. But that's not reality. They ended up beating OKC. They ended up beating Denver in Game 7. They beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then they end up going 7 against the Pacers in the finals, and they are now a team that looks like on paper could win 3 or 4 titles in the next half decade.
They are built for a long, long run of success, but weird things happen, man. Injuries, it only takes a couple injuries, and things can unravel quicker than it seems, but OKC's done an incredible job of building that thing.
When you look at the rest of the Cavs, going back to the jump question, we know Mobley. We've talked about Mobley enough making another jump, even though it's not year 1 to year 2. What Cavs players do you see making a pretty big jump this year, Jason, in terms of what kind of player they were last year versus what kind of player they'll be this upcoming season?
I mean, Jalen Tyson is the easy answer, I think, that comes to mind, only because we didn't get to see a ton of him last year, but what we saw, I think, was really encouraging. And he's the type of guy, I think, when you put him with all the talent around him like this, he's going to have an impact on this team. He's going to have a much larger role just based on losing Ty Jerome. There's a spot open in the rotation now, and I think he's probably the favorite right now to grab it. So I think a lot of these guys are established. We've had the Evan conversation. Donovan is who he is. Darius has returned. We saw him return to the type of player that he's capable of being. I think Jarrett, you know what you have in Jarrett by now. So there's not a lot of contenders for that. I mean, Sam Merrill could take another leap. Certainly the organization believes in him. Look at the contract they just gave him. But because Jalen is still quite a bit of an unknown, I think he could really emerge as a player that this team relies on.
Did you like Tyson last year, Dustin? I know it was limited time, but
Yeah, I mean, in the limited role he had, I thought he showed some signs of something. I mean, Ty Jerome came out of nowhere last year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe this kid can do it. This upcoming season for the Cavs, what similar to what Ty Jerome was last year.
I think Sam Merrill's the guy that has to do it. If they paid him to make that jump and give them more than just spot-up shooting, I think he was kind of misused. I don't know if we ever talked about this, Jason, but he played a lot of 3 last year. Like a lot at the I know they mix and match, but he defended threes. He's not a 3 by any means. He's a 2. Like, he is a 2. And with the departure of Ty Jerome, the addition of Lonzo Ball, I think it's going to give them some more lineup versatility to put Sam back in his natural position. Even though he made steps as a defensive, or made steps towards being a better defender last season, he's still a 6'5", semi-athletically challenged. Is that a fair way to put it? Undersized 3 guarding some much bigger wings. And he didn't shoot the ball that well last year, Jason. For many guys on the Cleveland that shot the absolute piss out the basketball last year. I mean, they had essentially the best team three-point percentage the NBA's seen in 4 or 5 years. Like, Sam Merrill was below league average. It was 35, 36%. And they had 4 or 5 guys 40+. If he starts making a couple more of those threes, then I think he'll have some more opportunities to run off ball and utilize his shooting ability off the catch next year. He could be a guy that wouldn't surprise me, averages 11, 12 points a game.
He went on some absolute heaters at times. You know what he's capable of doing. The combination of Evan and Jarrett gives them the flexibility, I think, to play really small, but I still don't think that's advisable. We mentioned it briefly last night. We got plenty of time to get into it. I think with Darius being out, they should start Max at the 2 and bring DeAndre back at the 3 and really sort of bulk up the lineup.
That's a jumbo lineup, by the way.
Yeah.
You talk about the Cavs, and we've talked about the small backcourt in the past. You want to go from small backcourt to jumbo-sized lineup. How about 6'2" Donovan, who is not a little guard? I mean, he's short, but he's got long arms and physical. Strus is legit 6'5", Hunter 6'8", 6'9", Mobley 6'11", Jared Allen. With the fro, 7 foot. Without the fro, 6'9", 6'10". Like that's a big ass starting lineup if they want to go that direction.
Yeah, they're gonna. I mean, we got plenty of time. We can talk about that as it gets closer to camp. But they're gonna have some options. I think they'll have an opportunity. Obviously, you want your best players available. You're better with Darius on the floor than without him. But his absence will give them, I think, opportunities to sort of experiment a little bit, see what works, see what doesn't. I don't think Max is a 3. I think he's much better served as a 2 in the league. And I think Hunter should be a starter. I thought when they made the trade for him, he should be in the starting lineup.
Yeah, why didn't they push him more to that role?
I think he was coming off the bench in Atlanta. It's a role he was comfortable in.
Playoffs were so close around the corner.
Playoffs were close. The advanced numbers were great with Max in the starting lineup. All their metrics were really, really good. And they felt like, why disrupt what's already working well? But now with an entire offseason to sort of reset, I think Hunter should be a starter, especially with Darius being out. Mike mentioned, on the Cavs pod that it leaves them a little thin on the bench, and I guess it does. But I still would rather go. Starters are starters for a reason, and I know that they tried to limit minutes last year. But I think you put your best starting 5 out there. I think Hunter deserves to be in the starting lineup.
At least last year, I think part of the reason he came off the bench was it is tough to just insert a guy midseason to a team that had as much success as Cleveland and say, all right, you're now going to just play in the starting lineup. But when Strus, and by the way, I agree with Jason. Last year I didn't think it made sense to start Hunter. This year I think it makes perfect sense to start Hunter. Strus needs the ball less. He's more of a motion guy that can use the screening of both bigs. He plays better off screens. Hunter's more of an isolation guy, stand in the corner. So they're different stylistically. And last year, off the bench, he was playing with Ty Jerome, who was his best friend. Mm-hmm. And they had that built-in chemistry, and it's kind of tough to build chemistry mid-season. When they traded for Hunter, they had 3 practices in his first 45 days in Cleveland. So, where are you building the chemistry other than games?
Yeah,
so I just thought it made sense for him to play with guys he had previous relations with, and obviously he won a national championship with Ty Jerome in college, so they were friendly. But to Jason's point, this year, What you've done in the past has worked in the regular season. It hasn't worked in the postseason. You have to try other things, and I think DeAndre is one of their 5 best players. I don't think you necessarily have to start your 5 best players, but he gives you the versatility, the length, the size, the athleticism on the perimeter to where from the start of a game, from the opening tip-off, he can match up with I was going to say Tatum, but he's obviously not healthy this year, but a Jaylen Brown or someone like that, and try to stop them and prohibit them from getting off to a hot start and taking over a game.
I think Strus in a bench role when this team is healthy is perfect. I think it's almost a luxury to have at that point. If Darius is back and healthy and you start Darius and Donovan in the backcourt, DeAndre at the 3, and bring Max off the bench to run that second unit, I think that's ideal for this team.
Yeah, and you could run stuff for for Strus too.
Yeah.
And
He
with
could be featured.
Yeah. a
with
little bit
Lonzo
more.
as the point guard, who's a traditional pass first guy, like
I totally forgot we have Lonzo.
you could run a lot more like
Gotta hope he's
motion
healthy.
offense. I just hope he's healthy.
I know.
Like, he's gonna be so.
Because he'll be so much fun to
If
watch.
Lonzo is healthy,
It's exciting.
he's going to be everybody's favorite player. I'm telling you.
He's an Energizer bunny, man.
He just makes everyone else around him better too.
Yeah, such a good athlete.
So you could do stuff with him running the show, and imagine you had Lonzo at the point, Jason, Strus and Merrill, and this is a bench lineup, so it's in smaller minutes,
Yeah.
and then Larry Nance Jr. and Mobley, or Larry Nance Jr.
Jalen.
and Jarrett, one of those two. Think of A, the spacing you have on the floor,
Yeah.
and then B, how much you can run and move Strus and Merrill to kind of. It's almost like a two backfield set, Dustin, where you have opposite motions or they split to put
Yeah.
the defense. What the hell are you going to do? Imagine running Strus off a down screen coming this way, Jason, and you're running Sam off a floppy screen coming that way. And you got the big in the middle who's guarding Mobley who could also shoot, looking around like, one of these three is going to be wide ass open. Like,
Yeah.
who am I just going to let get open? This could be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And is our guest here yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. All right, well, you want to get the read in, and then I got a random question for Dustin until we get Sweeny Murti on.
Sure, guys. I want to remind everybody that August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions, so whether you're calling an MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before Week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. You can take a flyer on the MVP race, or you can crown your champion before August. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bet now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Nailed it.
Nice job, man. So we'll bring Sweeny Murti on in 1 sec. He covers Major League Baseball for MLB.com. He has a new podcast coming out. The first episode drops today featuring Stephen Kwan, so he's going to help promote that. But now that Shedeur's probably not playing the game Saturday,
Yeah.
is that,
What's the question?
Is that Morgan Wallen's walkout partner?
Oh, God. Well, then I can be back.
Yeah, he'll still be there.
He'll still be there. They're
gonna fly him home.
Dude, he's not flying away from the team.
Well, the game ends. He hops on a private jet. Morgan Wallen walks out at 6. It's a 1 o'clock kick.
No.
Morgan Wallen, by the way, ain't walking out until 9 o'clock.
Oh, that's more than enough time. That's so much time to get back then.
I mean, Myles will make it there in time.
I actually think it'd be kind of embarrassing if Shedeur walked out with Morgan Wallen because he's a rookie and he hasn't done shit.
What about Myles?
Myles is great. Myles can do it. Myles is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Maybe I think it's too tight on that Friday. I mean, if it's
The Friday's not happening, but the Saturday
Yeah.
show could legitimately.
They play at 1 o'clock. The game's over.
4:30.
4:30. You're to the air. You're on the bus in an hour later. 5:30.
no.
You're
Well,
you're on the bus an hour after the game.
all right, Carolina. So what time did Carolina kick? 7?
7.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. So 7 hours later, Myles is pulled over.
Yeah, 8 o'clock. He'll be getting off the plane in Cleveland. Hopkins at 8
Yeah,
o'clock.
it's if Morgan takes a stage at. You really think it's 9 o'clock?
When Morgan comes out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, easily.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
dude. He'll
man.
It's gonna be a
go.
long
Honestly, I'm gonna
He'll
be
go-
honest,
he'll
he
go
might be
9 to-
pushing 9:30.
He'll go to like 11:30.
I'm gonna need a nap.
Yes, you are.
Oh, I wasn't thinking it'd be that.
Pace
late.
yourself.
The downtown music curfew is like 11:45, so yeah, he could go out 9:30.
Oh man.
This isn't Blossom. Blossom is what 11.
Blossom's 11, the Agora's 11. Rocket, I think it's good to go to 11:30. So I don't know. Is he playing at the Brown Stadium?
He is.
Yeah.
I don't know their rules for
Why
that.
is there a music curfew?
Because of a noise ordinance.
noise.
Noise. Oh yeah. But why would Rocket? I guess why would Rocket have one? It's inside.
I was thinking
There's
that too.
apartments right there, like right across the street, aren't there?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, but
indoors.
it's indoor,
dude.
like a Cavs game.
Sort of like.
I'm just telling you the rules.
Encased.
It
No, we're not trying to shoot you, the messenger.
It may be a Browns player Saturday.
They'll have time,
They'll have time.
but they'd be pushing it.
He'll just wait for him. It's Morgan Wallen.
It's got so like they brought out Marshawn Lynch came out with him in Seattle, which is pretty cool on the golf
On the
cart.
golf cart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that.
So that was a cool one. I'm just trying to think, dude. We just don't have any like legends.
What if it's Baker?
Maybe Baker. Baker came out with him in Tampa.
I know. Baker
Which is
loves
cool.
him. Baker.
Yeah.
Baker
That
was
makes
at-
so much sense.
Baker was at a Morgan Wallen concert when he found out about the Deshaun stuff.
I sort of love Baker right now. Changed man.
He has grown up and matured quite a bit.
Yeah,
Quite a bit.
Found Jesus.
He's
Makes a difference.
Yeah, he's made a big. I don't know that, and I mean, we can't have this conversation with Jay because Jay just loses his mind. I don't think he ever becomes.
No, he's not the player here, dude. There's no chance. Same as the Kelce argument we just had.
Yeah, I don't think he ever becomes the player.
No chance.
Had he stayed here, he had to go through everything that he went through.
And I just emailed Sweeny again. Do we have any super chats you want to read now? We'll read any final ones at the end of the show. But in case
we can
Sweeny
start
hops
some
on any
super chats.
second, let's knock him out.
All right, first one
MGK
today.
could walk out with him.
Yeah,
MGK would be a one. I mean, what about? I mean, Lil Wayne could walk out because if he's in town.
it's not really.
What do you want to make that a
Cleveland
surprise?
You want to make that a surprise.
Make that a surprise, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Super chats.
Kirk Davis, can we go get Coach Bill Belichick, please?
Well, he's coaching the Tar Heels.
Why do you want? You just want his girlfriend here? Or what do you want Belichick for?
I'm just the messenger. Salvatore, the 216. Haven't super chatted in a while. Just saying, love you guys. The best sports show in existence. And go Abdullah Mason. Thank you,
Shout out to Salvatore.
Is he fighting this weekend?
I think it's in November is his fight.
Oh, I was gonna say I hadn't heard that.
It's a title fight. He's got a title fight coming up.
Okay.
All right, next one from James Mace. Mikey, you were definitely right about the Shedeur being good for UCSS business.
I told you, it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to the content game. It's
I told G I ain't seen it. I've never seen anything like it.
It's
he was right.
yeah, it's
I thought
incredible.
I thought it would be like what we had with Manziel and Baker and that, but no, this is another level. This is another 3 or 4 levels.
Is it really?
Yes. Oh yeah.
It's not even close.
I guess I'm not really doing the post game stuff yet. I think Bull and I are going to be doing something post game for the regular season. But like, man, when LeBron when he came back, that was like gold.
Oh yeah.
Gold. Manziel was gold for a while. We've been very lucky, man.
Watson, when he first got here,
was gold
was gold
to
for
talk
us.
about. I mean, it wasn't the most enjoyable
Well, I've said this.
conversations. But
I've said this before, but UCSS started that summer when they got Deshaun, and there's the whole legal process going out. And part of the reason we grew as quickly as we did was we were talking for an hour a day on Deshaun Watson, which was the most searched topic, not just in Cleveland, but in the country during a dead football season. We got viewers from all over the country tuning in to hear our Deshaun Watson stuff. And, you know, when you kind of catch fire like that, it helps you get to a place where then now your other stuff starts to seep into other people's algorithms as well. So we owe a lot of the success of the show to Deshaun Watson. Seriously.
thanks, Deshaun.
Sure.
Well,
All right, next one comes from Kirk Davis
He
as
did
well. He
something
said,
right.
I'm wondering
You said it,
how
not me.
Dylan Gabriel is going to be against zone blitz because the team is going to swarm him every trip.
I didn't hear. I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. See that one?
Oh, it says, Kirk Davis, I'm wondering how Dylan Gabriel is going to go against zone blitz because the team is going to swarm him every trip.
Are we talking Eagles preseason or are we talking regular season?
I mean, there's not going to be much exotic blitzing
Yeah.
in this game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll buy that in the regular season.
The
but not this weekend.
The Gabriel struggles in the red zone, though. If you go back to his entire career, like his numbers were not great in the red zone, and I think part of that is
field shrinks. He's
Yeah,
small.
exactly.
It's hard to see.
yeah. I do think that is a legitimate concern you would have for Dylan Gabriel. at
I've
the NFL
noticed.
level.
We haven't done a show in a while. When he misses, he seems to miss high. At least that's what I think.
Yeah.
Is that a height? Is that a height thing?
Well, I mean, think about this. I mean, if you're just geometry, right? I mean, linemen are tall. You're short. You're trying to find a way. I mean, it's not like tennis reference. You know, top spin in tennis, you can get clearance and the ball comes down.
Yeah.
Football doesn't have top spin.
Right.
So you're trying to throw it over top of a lineman
Yeah.
and an area is short. It's for it to come down. There's not enough time for it to come down
Right.
in the red zone.
Yeah. I've just one thing I've noticed, and maybe I don't know. It just feels like when he misses, he's missing high often, and I think it's because of
And
that.
it's totally fair. Good take.
Hey,
Next super chat, Ant.
that's one.
All right, let's see here. James Mace wants to know who is the greatest Guardian or Indian of all time?
Oh, that's impossible.
Of all time?
Of all time.
I mean,
You want to give your personal picks?
My personal picks? I don't know. Jim Tomey.
Yeah, that'd be mine.
Bob Feller,
Larry
I'm
Doby.
just thinking about dudes that played when I was alive.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, the game has changed so much in so many different eras, and that's. I mean, you're talking about a 125-year history of a franchise. How do you pick one guy over 125 years? I mean, best hitter I've ever seen, best just pure hitter in a Indians Guardians uniform I've ever seen, Manny Ramirez. And it's not close. Manny was just unbelievable. His ability to barrel the ball and see ball, hit ball, and just.
I mean, you could name any player from the '90s and be like, because we're so nostalgic about it. I mean, you could say Kenny Lofton, and I'd say okay, sounds good.
Yeah, they've had. Yeah. It's such a shame those teams didn't win.
Kenny's back here all the time, by the way.
Yes.
I see him at the gym all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't know that.
And it's funny because he remembers.
He can still dunk at 60.
Yes, we asked him.
Well, he remembers me when he came in. So, like, he sees me and I say what's up and he'll say what's up.
Is he 60 yet?
He's not very friendly to other people, which is kind of fun.
He always had a reputation for being very bristly.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
When he was here. Yeah.
But my buddies get mad because
58.
I get the fist bump and he says what's up.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, only because he came on the show and had a good time. So it's not.
Yeah.
They're like, you're not even from Cleveland. You don't remember when he was here. I'm like, he remembers coming on my show. That's all that matters. So, any more?
Yeah, I got 3 more for you guys.
Oh, perfect.
Kirk Davis also says, I never played sports for a school, but how serious is the injury and how much time could he miss? He's talking about Sanders'
the oblique. I think we covered it.
We need more time, or we need more information. We got to find out.
The Browns officially confirmed, by the way, they did tweet out that he suffered an oblique injury. Here, I'll read you the exact tweet. Hold on. For pure clarity. But the Browns tweeted out, Shedeur Sanders injured his oblique throwing early in practice on Wednesday and was held out for the remainder of practice.
Just pure speculation. I'd be shocked if it's less than 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks.
Less than?
Shocked. Yeah. These are not quick recovery injuries.
There's nothing in the article that indicates any level of severity or whatnot to it.
It's just total speculation on my. Maybe he felt something grab and they shut him down early and it's not that big of a deal and he's back in a couple days. Hopefully that'd be a best case scenario. Yeah. It was just like a little bit of a grab. But if there's any sort of damage at all, those are usually multiple week type injuries.
All right, what's the next one?
All right, next one is Dawson Lowe. If Deshaun wins a Super Bowl here, will we forgive him?
Of course, but that's not happening.
But yes, I guess.
If any quarterback wins a Super Bowl here, that player will go down as an absolute legend.
I think part of
in Cleveland.
I think part of the vitriol with Deshaun, at least for me, like there's sort of a anger and a bitterness of like, man, I put my neck out for you.
Yeah.
And I backed it, and I said like Baker's not good enough.
Oh, I did too. I feel really dumb about that.
Well, I still don't think Baker's good enough to ever win a championship. I don't think Baker will ever win a championship. But like,
he may not win a championship, but I don't think it's because he's not good enough.
I don't think he's good enough.
Yeah.
I don't think he is. I don't think he's in that echelon. The game has become, if you're not one of the top 5 or 6 guys, like the days of Trent Dilfer and Flacco winning Super Bowls are over.
I think he is top 5, top 6.
I don't know. I don't think he's there yet.
I'm not going to prove you wrong in this venue, but like I just think what we've seen, and Bull and I have had this conversation. I mean, he's between 5 and 10.
I don't think he's good enough to win. If he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. But like the greater point in this instance was like, yeah, I supported the move because it was a rare opportunity to go out and get a top guy. At the time, he looked like a top guy.
A proven top guy coming off an incredible season. Obviously sat out, but like his last time playing had been.
Every team in the league, every GM in the league, take away the off-field stuff. Who's better, Baker or Deshaun? It would be Deshaun. Every GM in the league would have said Deshaun's a better quarterback. So I get why they made the move. And then he just never looked invested like he wanted to be here. And then the injuries, he can't control the injuries. That's not his fault. But it was such a disaster. And there was at least for me, it's like, man, I put my neck out for you. And I like said, yeah, okay, I get why they're doing it and everything else. And then for it to go the way it is, I think a lot of people feel that way because the vitriol toward him now did not exist when he first got here. There's a lot of people that didn't like the move, a lot of people. But it wasn't 95-5, which it is now. I mean, now the idea of him running back out there and taking a snap for the Browns, I think the entire fan base would totally revolt.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. He posted the video of him running full speed at the Browns facility, then posted some training camp.
I wouldn't be surprised if Browns say, let's not post videos.
They're not going to control him.
I understand that, but they're also paying him, and they're doing right by him.
They are doing right by him. They're
really doing right by him.
They're giving him more opportunities than a lot of other teams would. Because
I mean, the last thing they're going to want to see this year, the Browns, is a game where Flacco plays bad or Shedeur plays bad, and the Browns are 1-6, and the next day or that night, Deshaun Watson's posting videos of him throwing,
dancing on Instagram, or
in the dark or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like looking like he can play, and then it's just going to fire everyone up. It's like he's not playing for the Browns again.
Yeah, I can't see a world where it does. And we got one last super chat, then I'm going to throw out a random topic here if our guest doesn't show up. I don't think Sweeny Murti is going to join us today.
I don't think so either.
Did he fall asleep again?
What was that, Dustin?
I'm kidding. Remember, he did the interview with Francesa, and Francesa fell asleep.
No, I don't remember.
He put Francesa to sleep on the air, live on the air. It's a fantastic clip. Look it up.
Oh, that's funny.
Amazing. Scott Wants, don't know what the rest of the username is, says the Browns have made back half of Deshaun's contract off Shedeur's jersey sales. I hope he succeeds for our sakes alone as fans.
That's really naive to believe that the Browns have made back the money on jersey sales. The teams don't really make jack squat on jersey sales.
That's a lot of money.
Goes into a big pot,
and it's divided up. Yeah, they paid Deshaun a lot of money.
They did.
A lot of money.
So
a lot more to go still.
This morning, we're just going to have some fun for the last 15 minutes then if we're not going to have our guests. But this morning, Sportico put out its annual list of the most valuable NFL franchises, guys. The total evaluation for said teams. Before I tell you where the Browns fall, who do you think is the most valuable franchise in football?
Dallas Cowboys.
Correct. Who do you think is number 2? This surprised me.
Number 2.
I would say the Giants.
No.
Being a New York team.
Number 2. That's a great question.
Giants are 3 for what it's worth.
I was close.
You were. And I would not have accepted that either.
I'm Niners.
Niners are 5.
Okay.
The Rams.
That was up there with me too.
That's because of the stadium.
Yes.
Because
they completely own
yeah.
that brand new SoFi megatropolis.
The canopy?
Yeah. The Patriots come in at number 4, which I was a bit surprised at.
Me too.
Yeah, that surprises me.
And do you have the rest of the list?
Yeah, how far down did you guys want me to start?
Well, where exactly did the Browns fall on this list?
Browns are top 10.
No.
Browns are 23rd.
Yeah.
What? I thought they were
$6.14 billion.
Oh my god.
I would have said lower half of the league.
Is that going to change
Yes.
when the Brook Park Dome
Yes.
is complete? How high do they rise?
It goes
in
over
these
10
rankings?
billion.
They'll be top 10 when the stadium opens. Top.
What's the threshold for 10? Like
10
number?
would be
What's the number?
They have to hit $7.5 billion because
Yeah,
the
so
Washington Commanders
so
are
they'll
sitting at
jump down.
7.4.
Commanders are 10,
Yes.
and that's going to jump when they go in the new stadium.
Yeah.
So that's 10 playing in the worst stadium in the league, and it's not even close. So they'll be top 5. They'll probably move in the top 5.
And what is the evaluation of the Browns? You said they're 23, but what's the number?
Oh,
$6 billion.
6.14.
Yeah.
6. So they're
They'll
one.
easily-
And Jimmy bought the team for 900 or a bill, right? Was it
I
one
don't
bill?
remember.
It was
I
like
don't
one
remember
bill.
now.
You want to know who the ultimate poverty franchise is?
Based on the way you phrased it, I'm going to guess
The
the
Cincinnati
Bengals.
At $5.5 billion, 32nd.
That's poverty. $5.5
Poverty,
billion.
yeah. So you're telling me there's only 0.6 billion, and I say only, but $0.6 billion difference between the Browns and the Bengals?
Well, what's
Jimmy bought the team for $1 billion. What a freaking deal!
Yep.
If I only had $1 billion,
Wait till he buys.
pays to own an NFL team.
Wait till he buys the Bucks, because that's coming next. He's gonna have control of the Bucks.
Well, he's just got. If he ever decides to sell the Browns, he's going to have an extra $5 billion in liquid assets.
That won't
He'll
happen.
never sell the
They'll
Browns.
never sell. They will never sell.
You don't sell an NFL team.
They will be passed down.
Yep.
They will not
Yep.
sell.
Yep.
So Bengals are 32 at 5.5.
Yes.
And
5.5 even.
And what's the Commanders at 10?
7-4.
Commanders are 7.47.
So $2 billion difference between the bottom and the top 10.
In top 5, you got to be
I thought it was gonna be-
past 8.6.
Browns will be top 10 when the dome.
I
opens.
think so too.
Yeah, I would have guessed them 18 to 20.
So slightly below. And what are the teams in their evaluation
Because their
range?
stadium sucks.
Give me a couple before the Browns and a couple after the Browns.
Buccaneers are 19th at 6.47. The Lions are 25 at 5.8. The Bills are actually at 26 at 5.87.
They'll jump.
Panthers went down 3 spots. They're now valued at 5.76. And the Broncos went up 2 spots. They're at 15 at 6.55.
And who are the 2 teams below the Browns?
Directly below the Browns is the Baltimore Ravens at the $6 billion even.
That
and they went
surprises
up
me.
from 25 last year. And then the Lions at 5.8 are 25th. And they went up from 3 spots from last year.
And last question, where are the Packers?
I was wondering that too.
1 second. Green Bay is at 18th with 6.48.
See, that personally surprised me. I don't really know how to gauge that, but
How do they value that since the city owns them? Like, how does that all work?
I don't know. Where's Pittsburgh? Did you
1
say
second.
them? I'm just
No, I
wondering.
have not said Pittsburgh.
I would think that they're
it's got to be a little higher.
They are 17th. They're 1 above Green Bay at 6.51, and they dropped 2 spots from last year.
I thought they'd be higher. I thought they'd be a little bit higher than that.
And I'm guessing this is a total evaluation based off if they put the team up to sale right now, how much money would you get, right? I'm assuming that's
And usually, like, all the teams hate these valuations, and they all claim that they're not, especially the Forbes ones, and yet anytime teams sell, Forbes usually is pretty
spot on.
pretty spot on. I don't know about, what was this one? Sportico or
Schefter tweeted it out, which is how I saw it.
This is Sportico.
Sportico.
I don't know how. I know the Forbes ones are way more accurate than the teams ever want to admit.
If you had enough money to buy, like, that much money, with billions of dollars,
Yeah,
would you buy sports? Like, would you want to own a sports team?
absolutely. Yes, just for the investment, because they don't ever lose money. It's like real estate, but real estate has at times lost.
There are very few things in this world that just are not going to be a depreciating asset.
Yeah,
And an NFL team, a sports franchise, one of the big 4,
yeah.
they don't lose value.
And that's, like most normal people, when they want to invest, they buy real estate. When you're a billionaire, you buy sports teams.
Would you be a hands-on owner or a hands-off owner? Like, do you think you have the capability to, even against your better judgment, know that it's probably best to let other people do that?
Absolutely. I would want to be involved. Like, I'd want to know what's going on, but I would never override the decisions of the people. If you're going to override them, then fire them. If you don't have enough faith in them,
God,
then why are they
I
there?
think I'd be a micromanager.
Do you?
I think I would be.
No, I don't think I would be.
I mean, I think I try to equate it to like my kids, and they're playing sports, and I let their coaches do their thing. Right?
Yep.
And same with you.
Yep.
You got kids.
Yep.
And sports and all that stuff, and so maybe I wouldn't. I don't know. I try really hard to step back and to like my daughter plays tennis, and I know a lot about tennis.
Yep.
A lot more than she does.
Yeah.
And I don't push it on her.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want to step on the coach's toes.
Right. One time at AJ's hitting, because he takes hitting lessons 9 months out of the year, and one time I started and his hitting instructor's like, I got it. And I was like, yep, you're right.
Yes, you do.
And I shut up.
Enough said.
And walked away.
It's good he said that.
What did you want to point out? Do you remember?
I don't remember. It was
But
something
you
small.
realized after you said it, you're like, yeah, that's not my place.
He's right.
Yeah.
And I was right.
Yeah, but that's not the place to say it.
Right. And so I walked away. And I have coached him for years, and then I haven't coached him the last 2 years. And last year, only twice did I open up and say something. Like, I don't say a word. I just keep my mouth shut. I don't cheer. I don't boo. Like, I don't, all right, swing the bat. Like, nothing. Twice this year. And I think we joked about it on the show. The one time, the other team was running up the score, and I laid into the coach. And I'm like, 21-6, and we're still running. 21-6, and we're still stealing. And he and I kind of jawed back and forth. And then the only other time was a fly ball in the infield, and like AJ took off for second, and there were 2 outs. I thought there was 1 out. I'm like, get back! And the coach, that's like by the dugout, coach is like, there's 2 outs. It's like, never mind, run! Those are the only 2 times all year I opened my mouth. The rest of the time I just shut up.
How's he doing in football?
They had their first scrimmage last night. they've got a lot of kids on our team who are just playing football for the first time.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like a.
What grade?
7th.
Okay.
So last night they had a scrimmage against Boardman. 7th grade, going 50 yards and in.
Yeah.
8th grade, we're going the other way.
Yep,
So I'm
yep.
kind of like peeking back and forth watching both teams. And it's like, dude, 8th grade football compared to 7th grade football, it's like it's like pro in college.
Yeah.
I mean, because you're talking about puberty.
Yeah.
And these kids are all
Yep.
at different ages, you know, and it's like, man, Boardman had this running back on the 8th grade team, looked like Kevin Mack. Actually, I said to my kid's mom, I said, that's like freaking Keith Byers at running back for this guy, you know. But anyway, but it's a different deal. My daughter is doing very well in tennis. She made first doubles.
Nice.
For varsity as a sophomore, and
Yeah.
she won her first match Monday at Dover, and she won last night in a big come from behind victory, down a set and a break to come back and win the match.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So she got another match tonight. So this is why I left radio, so I can go
and watch.
scoot right to these
Yep.
matches. Yeah.
AJ used to be the biggest kid. He was early puberty kid, and he was always one of the biggest, fastest, strongest.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody else is catching up to him now.
Your kid had a mustache in like 6th grade.
I know. And they had a scrimmage last week. They scrimmaged Lorraine,
And see it, Avon or Avon Lake?
Avon Lake.
Avon Lake.
And I'm watching these other kids, and I'm watching them at defensive end. And after the scrimmage, we got home. I'm like, hey, you're not the biggest kid on the field anymore. He's like, I know, Dad. You don't have to point it out. I know.
That is what we're noticing too. My son was always big, and now he's like kind of like middle of the road to undersized.
Yeah. So all AJ wants to play is defensive end. That's it. That's all the kid wants to play.
Does he love Myles Garrett?
Yes, worships Myles Garrett. And I'm like, we were just at the doctor, and the doctor said, like, probably 6 foot max. Like, he might be a safety by the time you might just keep moving back. Freshman defensive end, JV linebacker, varsity safety.
I'll tell you this much, man, and I remember this from when I was playing Pee Wee football. Because I was like a kind of a chunky kid growing up, you know. I just like my son, I like mozzarella sticks and pizza way too much. And you know, I played like offensive guard and center and defensive line.
You did?
Yeah, it's in like 4th, 5th, 6th grade.
Yeah.
And then like it just puberty happens, you know, and you start to become whatever, and
Yep.
it changes. And like when I was in 5th grade, there was a coach who said, he's like, I'll never forget. He's like, you're gonna make a hell of a guard in high school. And I'm like, at the time, like, oh, thanks, coach.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, I'm like all Ohio tailback.
I didn't realize you were running back in high school.
Yeah.
You did everything in high school, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, honestly, I was more. I mean, I think I actually made all Ohio as a quote unquote defensive back.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because I barely played defense. It was only because I play. Dude, they handed me the ball like 35 times a game. Wow. Jack Rose was my coach, and we used to run toss right, toss left. I'm like, Coach, you're making me run 50 yards to gain 10 yards every time.
Yeah.
And I was just, whatever.
Did you
I was a workhorse.
Did you get any offers to play
Oh,
running
yeah.
back?
Michigan State offered me to play tailback. A couple other Big Ten schools did. But I never even thought about it. But I could have played D1 tailback for sure. For sure.
Wow.
The Dustin Fox story.
Yeah.
The tailback.
Dude, I was a really good run. Like I was a
believe
better
it.
tailback than I was a defensive back. You know,
I believe it.
I think I could have played. I think I could have like been like a, because I was a good like a really good athlete. Not to like toot my own horn or whatever, but I was fast and could jump and explosive. Like kind of.
We've all heard the stories.
Kind of in the McCaffrey type of.
G talks about you being like the best high school athlete.
I mean,
See?
I was yeah. I mean, I don't want
You were a guard.
I try to humble myself a little bit, but I was a good player.
Yeah.
It was fun. Yeah.
This is the first time we've had a guest just completely no-show on us in a long time.
Yeah, that's all good, dude.
It's fine.
We made it work.
I'm just laughing because we emailed. He sent me all the stuff he wanted to promote today. Like we were in communication all morning. and
Something
then-
probably came up.
Mike, was he in a different time zone? Did we clarify Eastern Standard?
Yeah, he's in New York.
They're in New
Oh,
York
okay.
today. They're playing home.
Who?
The Yankees. Sweeny Murti?
Yeah. He did.
works
Does he
for-
cover somebody else now?
He's MLB Network. now, isn't he?
MLB.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
well he's
He's
worked
in New York.
He's
He's
worked
in-
I wasn't sure.
He's
worked
in
for
New York
Yes.
regardless.
He's worked for
so,
Yes
yeah.
Network and to cover the Yankees. That's why. My bad.
I totally blanked on Rich Eisen one time. I think it was. They haven't asked me back. I forget. It was like some national show, and I usually.
Oh, you told me about
Oh,
this.
you no showed him.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
You
I
told me
totally,
that.
I totally forgot.
Yeah. All right, we'll see you in overtime here. We're going to do a quick overtime so we can get this tech stuff sorted out. But we'll make it real quick, and we'll see you in about 2 minutes.
Right after
on
I
the
pee.
Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna pee.